On last week's Cow-Calf Corner, we visited a little bit about growing bred replacement heifers, those that are going to calve next spring, on wheat pasture. But during the course of this week, I received a question about growing those soon-to-be weaned replacement heifers, those that are going to go through a breeding season next spring, and using wheat pasture in that situation. We've done some research here at Oklahoma State University looking at that very subject. And what we did was put some heifers that had been weaned in the fall, about the first week in December, out on wheat pasture and left them there into and through the AI breeding season in April. Half of the heifers we actually removed from the wheat 3 weeks prior to the breeding season and put them in a dry lot on a self-feeder with a ration that would mimic the same rate of gain that the heifers that stayed out on wheat should achieve during that same time period, and then compared the reproductive performance of those heifers. What we found was that there was no difference, no statistical difference in the way the heifers actually conceived to artificial insemination or to the eventual cleanup bulls in the breeding pasture throughout the remainder of April and May. Therefore, we could conclude that using wheat pasture as a growing program for replacement heifers that are going to be bred next spring would and should work very, very well for those producers that have that option available to them. The one place where I think there can be some real concern is if we decide that we're going to remove the heifers from this high quality wheat pasture. If we take those heifers off of wheat and then put them out on dormant native or Bermuda grass pastures where they have a real decline in the nutrition that they're receiving just to and prior to the breeding season, I think that's the place where sometimes we get some disappointing breeding performances and blame it perhaps on the wheat pasture, but it was really the decline in nutrition right before the start of the breeding season that caused the problem. So in answer to the question, yes, I think we can use wheat pasture as a growing program for those replacement heifers as long as we keep them growing and continuing to gain weight into and through the breeding season, whether we stay on the wheat in a graze out situation or whether we move them to another pasture and put them on a supplement that will keep them growing and not losing significant weight right at the start of the breeding season. Keep that in mind, and I think you'll have a successful breeding season with those replacement heifers this year. Hey, we look forward to visiting with you again next week on Sunup's Cow-Calf Corner.